So this is the final of the men's 94 kilo championship of the Commonwealth. 9 contenders and just 5 kilos separating 4 of them as we look forward to the first attempt. And 138 kilos has been loaded onto the bar for the Malaysian lifter, Mohammed Faiz Musa. And 138 kilos it is to be, just 3 kilos short of his personal best as he comes onto the competition stage. Southeast Asian champion in 2013, took the bronze medal there in those championships.
Just a little behind. The momentum in the bar can go in your favor or it can go against you. He just couldn't hold on to that one.
You just don't know quite what the atmosphere now is in the warm-up room. There's a level of nervousness, I think, about this class here. And I just hope that it doesn't sort of spread too much in there and get amongst the boys.
That's right. There's definitely energy. He had it there, threw the bar from his hips very well, but the momentum was carrying him back. And you know this lift is so precise. If you try to hold on to it when it's going back for too long, that's when elbow dislocations can happen. So you really have to let go in time to not risk injury and focus on your next lift.
Heaviest opening weights, 145 kilos by Simplice Rabuan of Australia. Also 145 by the Nigerian Olusola Friday, and the biggest of the lot actually comes from the man from Papua New Guinea, Stephen Kari, and he is a real danger to the whole field. Forget about hometown support here. That boy from Papua New Guinea is really fired up.
Yeah, if we look at the scoreboard at his clean and jerk, it's a 200 kilo anticipated start weight. That record for the Commonwealth Games is 205. He's definitely got that in mind.
And the Indian, Chandrakant Mali, 145 kilos, and he's got all his top Indian boys. What a lot of these countries have been doing is the lifters are also on coaching courses. It's something that Paul Coffer's really championed in the Oceania region. So when they come here and they lift, but then they actually become the coach. So Bradley Burrows, for example, who sadly for England didn't manage to get a toe call, he's in the corner with Sonny Webster today.
You know, there's so much to this sport, and every opportunity you have to be in the back helping make decisions is really helping you build your future as an athlete as well as a coach.
Now, Mohammed Faiz, let's hope that he can just make this minor correction. Easier said than done, though. And that is what often happens. The first lift went behind. The second one, he didn't get the full extension, left it in front, and he's now under serious pressure.
Hoping that that third one will be just right.
Yeah, it's a common, well, you know, it's a common fault, that. And
here we go. Throws it from the hips. In fear of throwing it back like the last one, he was hesitant to get his head through. See that his head never got forward in comparison to those elbows.
So he's got a third attempt, and it's crucial because in the Commonwealth Games there are only one set of medals available. You have to get at least one good snatch to keep you alive, to qualify you, to entitle you to go through to the clean and jerk, the second half of the competition. So this is where the audience need to be hugely sporting and really give energy and encouragement to Faiz to really make this a good lift.
He looks like he's staying composed, and that's very important when you're facing this last lift, possible elimination from the competition. You have to remember it's just one lift, and that's the only one you can think about right now. Forget about the 2 you've missed.
This is doable. The weight is not the issue. We've seen many a lifter, male and female, save their day during the last days of the championships here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this man has found himself in this position before.
That's right. He is going for just right now. Not too far back, not too far forward, just right.
So still in his early 20s. He knows that the house is with him. Come on. Good boy.
That was just right. And what a relief. His competition plan changed. He went from trying to get as many kilos in the snatch as possible to just getting one attempt to stay on the board.
Super save.
Big save.
Have a look at this.
Great throw from the hips and right into that position where the head is just forward, ears in front of the arms. That is the most stable catch position you can have.
Feet were just about stable and in line there.
That saved his day.
So we move from Malaysia to Canada. The bar goes to 140, and it's to be for the arrival of the Canadian David Samayoa from Regina in Saskatoon. And this is the man who was inspired by his dad, Jose, from Guatemala, who really got him into the sport. His dad, a very decent lifter, national champion, competed in the Pan Ams. And one of his big targets as well on his calendar, he tells me, is not only tonight, but also next year's Pan Ams in Toronto.
So he can experience his home crowd that Peter Kirkbride is so fortunate to have.
Beautifully balanced.
What a solid lift.
You just didn't hear a sound.
Oh, that was stealth.
So that was an excellent first attempt. He's only 5 kilos off his personal best.
Right into that perfect position, no hesitation at all.
At motorway speed limit, he whips the bar off the floor, and that's a great start. One in the bank.
That's right.
Now, Peter Kirkbride. Important for the Scotsman that he really gets off to a good start. He's got a personal best of 150, so starting off as he is here at 141, at 142. That's just been changed there by Chick Hamilton. They've gone to 142. Now, Peter Kirkbride posted 140. Warm-up has gone well. Put it up a couple of kilos. If he pulls it up, he keeps himself that little bit closer with his next 2 attempts to come. Peter, 26 years of age, only missed the gold medal in Delhi by 1 kilo. How frustrating is that? He wants to do what Richie Patterson did last night for New Zealand, convert silver to gold. Strong man.
Very strong man.
Look at that, left and right. Reminiscent of the look that Piros Dimas in the 90s was giving to everyone every time he made a super lift in the 85 kilo class.
That's right. This man, Peter Kirkbride, sure knows how to channel the crowd, and he's in for a treat because this crowd loves him. I think we've got some big lifts to come from Peter. Great throw from the hips, excellent catch, no hesitation at all.
And his granddad, aged 87, is in the audience with his father Peter and Mum Teresa, and goodness knows how many from the Kilmarnock weightlifting club. So out on stage comes Sonny Webster. The bar has gone up to 143 kilos for him. terms of age, the youngest of the class at 20.
He may be young, but there's no lack of experience there. Look at that lift.
Oh, we love this as a start. This young man, as a schoolboy, was down in Devon in Ivy Bridge at the school where Michaela Breeze was the esports teacher. He walked into the gym, just give you the opportunity.
Catch. There you go. No question. Right into that perfect elbow lockout. That's what makes the referees give white lights automatically.
He walked into the school, sat on a bench, looked at the weightlifting. He did that for 2 weeks. And then Michaela went up to him and said, come on, you've got to try it. And he said, no, it's not for me. And she convinced him to try, and then it just moved on from there. More of that later, because here comes his teammate, Owen Boxall. 4 years. His senior 150 is his personal best. And he's got a whole hatful of supporters up here. Come on. Oh, he just went back from that. Oh, that's so doable. He's going to have to do it again.
This is all about precision, this lift. Got to be in the exact right spot. You could see he was almost able to save it by shifting his weight, but momentum is a cruel opponent, and he wasn't able.
Yeah. Important for him, he really needs to make lifts because he's at 92.84 weighing in. So in one sense, that's very good because he's maximizing his strength. In another sense, if this becomes nip and tuck and very tight, body weight's really going to come into play. And I've got a feeling that's going to happen tonight.
That's right, and you know, we're really fortunate that the rules have changed and there's a 1 kilo increment. Before, body weight was even more of a factor when we had 2.5 and 5 kilo increments.
Andy Callard there, and this man, well, he's got his fan club. His mum, Keris, his dad also here, his brother Reese, Sean, his sister Megan, his younger sister, and his girlfriend Kerry, all in the audience as well.
You know what's awesome having a home crowd cheering you on, but it's also amazing to be in the home crowd cheering on one of your local heroes.
Well, the thing is, big competitions happen all around the world, and usually it's either difficult or too expensive for friends and family to come. So this is a really special occasion. So let's get behind Owen now to try and see him through this second attempt here. Same kilos, 144, second attempt, half a minute to win it.
He's going to wait for that buzzer so it doesn't affect his focus. There we go.
Well, the Malaysian had to do it. Owen had to do it. But he still has one more attempt. So although his ambitions have been slightly limited, now he can have a little chat with the coaches and decide where he wants to go.
Watch here. Great throw. Good catch. It was pulling him back again, but he was able to stay in control this time. Very patient, didn't overreact, stabilized.
This is Olasula Friday for Nigeria. Now, he's coming in on his personal best mark of 145 kilos. Got a jerk of 165, but I'm not quite sure where he's going to end up tonight. In terms, doesn't have a huge amount of international experience. And he's up against some seasoned campaigners. And there are still 3 men waiting in the wings to start. Look at those arms, almost out of the extremity of the bar.
So that was a question of timing. Timing is so important to technique. It doesn't matter how much power you put into the lift. If you aren't able to get your arms locked out overhead, very close to it, if not exactly at the same time as your feet land on the ground, you're really working against yourself, as we see here. Through the bar, stomped his feet, and then caught it with his arms. So a little error in timing that resulted in that bar going forward.
He's a little bit fortunate because one of the men who hasn't yet started, and that's Simply Sribuam. And mind you, they might just be putting up his weight. Yeah, they did. The Australian was just about to come in, but coaches put it up to 147. So it's going to be David Samoa for Canada to come in for a 5 kilo increase.
Looking very confident. And focused.
First international competition. Big occasion.
It sure is. And it doesn't look like it's his first competition internationally, because he's handling this like a veteran. So patient.
And good progress.
Great progress.
Likes to do a little fishing. Mind you, in Regina and Saskatoon, it's ain't any salmon, so it's perch and pike.
Yes, he's from Saskatchewan, so it's different than where I'm from, where there's mountains and, you know, scenery. There are wheat fields, but
yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, and where you came from, Victoria, salmon this big.
As long as that bar.
He did say, actually, he doesn't eat them, he throws them back in. So Peter Kirkbride, second step on his Scottish journey. And he's taking a measured step here, 145, which is only a 3 kilo increase. And there's no problem with this because he and Chick Hamilton have worked out the path they wish to follow to glory.
You know, the height was there. He has the power, there's no question. That same problem with momentum taking you backwards, though, that we see so often when people are playing with these very heavy weights.
So I think the weight was the right choice. The step was the right choice.
Here we see good throw from the hips, got under it, but just going back a little too far, couldn't hold on. And he let go at the right moment. You don't want to risk elbow injury because it takes you out of the competition. This way he still has a shot at 145 on his third.
And he's certainly going to go up a kilo, giving himself a little bit more time to decide what they want to do. Meanwhile, Nigeria's representative, Mr. Friday, on the stage to try 145 for a second time.
Let's see if he can change his timing on this one. Much better. And you can see the difference there, just how much more powerful that looked. And you know what? He put the same amount of power in, and it was all a question of timing.
Also, one of the lighter men in this group, 93.16, his body weight. But you know, I think this is a night where 6 out of 6, if anybody can do 6 out of 6 here, they surely will end up on the podium. So what this tells you is that they're going to be satisfied with 145 and they'll look to make their big differences in the clean and jerk.
That's right. He needs to channel the crowd again for this attempt. Missing it would not discount him, but this will make easier work for him in the clean and jerk.
Yeah. I would not want to see him back on 142, the first attempt. Oh,
what?
Oh. that sideways movement, that lack of control, that's what was his undoing.
He is a beast to have held on to it for as long as he did. I'm really impressed, and it doesn't look like he hurt his elbow. I'm really hoping he didn't.
It's a bit of a mountain to climb. Now what he's got to do is clear that out of his head.
There we go. Had it. Had to get his torso forward to gain his balance, and that sent the bar back. He almost had it.
Now this is a good shot. You'll see what happens here. Look at the hips going behind. He tries to move sideways. He's trying to restore it, but then that momentum takes it away from him. Well, there's a job to be done, and Chick Hamilton's the man to do it with him. But now, this is Chandrakant Mali for India. Junior commanding officer in Pune, although not too many junior army duties. On 146, and as an 85 kilo lifter 4 years ago, this was a straightforward weight, and it's a straightforward weight today.
Yes, it doesn't get much easier than that.
How did he get into weightlifting? Let me tell you. When he was a young boy, about 40 kilos.
Beautiful timing.
You have to go to the gym. Why? He said, because you are not strong enough to plow the fields with me. And he sent him to the gym, and he learnt weightlifting, and the whole motivation was to come back and plow the fields.
That's hilarious. There's so many stories of chores leading to athleticism and great champions.
And the Minister of Sport for Papua New Guinea looking on there at Stephen Kari. A man with a major chance tonight. First attempt, bar at 147. Strong lift, what a starter.
That was light for him.
Side referee has questioned the right elbow.
Well, let's see the replay here. God, you know, such a high throw. It was even above the hips. Just powered that right up, no question. I'm not sure why he got a red light.
Neither am I. I mean, maybe just a mistake for shoulder movement.
Or, you know, it could have also been the referee that accidentally hit red when they wanted to hit white. That happens too. They're human.
So the last man to get going is now with us. The champion of the Commonwealth 4 years ago in Delhi at 85 kilos, moving up a weight class, still getting used to it, getting over jet lag, missing his two sons, but he has to put that all out of his mind. First attempt, 147.
No problems. It is so rare to see such clean, crisp lifts from athletes starting at these heavy weights, and we've seen a lot of consecutive successful lifts.
And he's weighed in at less than 93 kilos, like the Canadian.
It's amazing. Here we go. Really light off the floor, easy throw from the hips, and such a solid catch.
Formerly lifted for the Cameroon, got a bronze medal in Melbourne. Then, after the Melbourne Commonwealth Games, sought asylum, stayed in Cameroon, lifted for Australia, won the gold medal for his adopted country in 2010. So now Sonny Webster on for his second attempt, a 4 kilo increase here for the Englishman.
He's had quite a weight since his last attempt at 143, but it was a solid one. Let's see if he can repeat it.
He had a really good series in the Junior Worlds just last month. Finished 4th there, the highest placed Englishman ever in the Junior World Championships.
That's quite something. So close, so low. Did you see how low he got in that catch position? Even more so when you get that low, it's hard to stop the momentum of the bar moving backwards.
Yeah, I should just add before we get emails and tweets, in the 94 kilo class, the best ever performance by an Englishman at the Junior Worlds.
Wow, so powerful. We can be sure he's going to have a very solid attempt at that again on his third weight.
So, David Samayoe for Canada. Now, he weighed in incredibly light.
He's the lightest in this class at 92.32. And oh man, again, did he ever get low? But it was going the other way than the lift we just saw. A little bit in front, but he doesn't seem too phased. He knows he still has 3 lifts on that platform to make ground on.
Yeah, I think the clean and jerk is going to be absolutely wicked. That's when we're going to see the weight and the power really go on. Wow. He's left on 145, but that is his personal best. So remembering that this is his first international competition, and he's made 2 out of 3 in the first part.
And he comes from central Canada, the prairies. They're not close. This is a long trip. This is a pretty big difference from what he's used to, having stayed in the country to compete in the past.
So the man who's got 147 kilos, of course, is simply Boehm for Australia, who, as I mentioned, are the most successful country ever in this particular Commonwealth Games weight class. So he's got it, and remember his body weight's 92.92. So here comes Sonny Webster, weighed in at 93.03, which would put him, for the moment, into second place.
He's looking for the same pull as that last lift. He just needs to stabilize it. And he does it, no problem. That really kept him in the competition, and you can see he is pumped about that, and so is the crowd.
Yeah, and the man from the Empire Sports Club in Bristol and his supporters on their feet to acknowledge their approval of that save.
Great throw, perfect catch. You can see it stays right over his shoulders. No hesitation on the recovery. Even sticks the tongue out, no big deal. He's happy with that.
There's a change, he wants more. Loaders 149 kilograms now. 149 kilograms for Stephen Curry.
Yeah, Owen Boxall was going to come in for England, but he's pushed the bar up to 150. So the man from Papua New Guinea now at 149. This is for the outright lead, and it's only his second lift. There's Paul Coffer, the man who's turned Oceania into a weightlifting mecca. This man means business, as you can see, really fired up.
So close, just one elbow didn't lock out quite at the same speed as the other. Also got caught with that buzzer going off in the middle of his lift. That does throw you off. Sight, picking a focal point, and sound are so important in focus and balance that it can really throw you off when that buzzer sounds.
He's yet another man, actually, who has finished 4th in the Commonwealth Games. In his case, it was in Delhi, but it was at 77 kilos. So over the last 4 years, he's moved from 77 up to 94.
There's a change of call, 149 kilograms remaining on the barbell.
We see that with athletes as they grow, they can jump even a couple weight classes between competitions. So, you know, he's just 21 right now, so from 17 to 21, it's normal to burn through those classes.
And some coaching going on there and changes. Rebuam's gone to 152. And Boxall's gone to 150. And just looking here, the Chandrakant also 150 for India. That's why this man's in again as quickly as he is now.
Oh, there we go.
And I think a lot of that Jeannie, I think a lot of that was, he was actually more measured and controlled in that third attempt. He was just a little over the top in the second attempt.
He was in a bit of a hurry, but I would like to see the replay of the lifts, but also that celebration. That was awesome. Yes, so easy. No wonder he's so happy. Feels like he had room for like 10 kilos more today.
So 149, but this man is intent on going a kilo ahead, and this is only his second attempt, and this is Chandrakant Mali.
It's been a while since we saw his first lift, but it was fluid, no problems.
Last year also ended up just outside the medals in the Asian Championships in Astana in Kazakhstan. And this is the weight he lifted there, 150. Really steadied and controlled, beautiful patience, and gets the reward.
Oh, did he ever do a good job of stabilizing that?
150 kilograms for Owen Boxall, England. Third attempt. Then to the follow will be Friday.
So Owen Boxall wants the same weight.
That didn't go right to the perfect place. So you know what, on that next lift, if he's able to throw it into that perfect, precise catch position, it may be even easier for him.
So Owen Boxall weighed in at 92.84. Chandrakant Mali at 93.33. So if Owen can pull this off, he will go into first place by virtue of his lighter body weight. Andrew Kellard's arms were up before his were. That's a super 150.
That was a textbook lift. That is what every beginner should try to emulate. Amazing lift.
Well, still a few lifts to come. The man who's got 2 lifts remaining is simply Ribam. He's put the bar up to 152, but it's the Nigerian who's going to come out now to challenge for the lead. So Owen Boxall weighed in at 92.84. The Nigerian on deck now, he weighed in at 93.16. So he can equal up on kilos, but just in ranking, he will only go into second place. Nonetheless, this is all about making the lifts and staying close.
It sure is. That was his best lift of the day. There was room for a lot more. Such explosive power.
So he's built from that first failure, 145 up to 150. So that puts him on the premises as well.
Here we go. We could hear his coach cueing him, lift up your head, strong back. Clearly, that worked for him.
A night to keep your enemies closer. But we're not done yet. We've still got 1 attempt for the Indian lifter and 2 for this man. Now the bar's gone to 152. This is for the outright lead. And this is a man who weighed in at 92.92. He has one more go.
It's getting overhead quite easily.
The Indian lifter has put the third attempt for him up to 153. So essentially, he'll be looking to put the Australian in with the least amount of recovery time.
Here we go. We watch from the side. Right in that, just a little behind the perfect position. You would have had to shift his weight way back to be able to save that bar, and it's almost impossible with a number like that. He's got 152 on the bar. That is a lot of weight when there's momentum attached to it.
Yeah, he also just saw, he just went back on his heels.
There are just 2 seconds remaining here, ladies and gentlemen, so every moment when these athletes come out.
So he could put the bar up if he wanted to, and he has. He's gone up to 153. So the Indian, Chandrakant Mali and Simplice Ribam jousting for the odd kilo of advantage. And of course, this little fight here over the extra kilo means were they both to make it, they draw 3 kilos clear of the 150 boys. That could be really important.
It really can, and these two men both have 185 posted as their first clean and jerk attempt, and they're in a league of their own with that number.
This time he couldn't do it.
So gutsy. He gets so low and he tries so hard. He's so patient.
That's a pity. Back in Delhi, he lost the bronze medal by body weight. And he lost it to one of your teammates, Mathieu Marino.
That's right, and his father's here coaching today.
But just looking at Chandrakant, he has got 150, so he's still very much in the mix. Now, when you put it together, effectively, this is 147 to 153, so this is a 6 kilo increase, so to speak. So this would give him a 3 kilo jump, an advantage, a cushion, call it what you like, over the rest of the field going into part 2. Oh!
Not a problem, and the coaches are just as excited as he is.
Yurek Sarkassian, Commonwealth gold medalist, formerly for Armenia, but he won gold for Australia. And we go into the halfway time with the field all gathered together.
What a lift to finish the snatch portion of the competition with. That was very spectacular, managing to walk forward, save that weight.
What a great first half.
There's Yurek.
So
hugs all around.
This leaderboard is really going to be important to study. The man representing Australia, formerly from the Cameroon, he has the advantage of 3 kilos and also one of the lighter body weights. So here we go. Simplice Ribam with a 3 kilo advantage over Englishman Boxall. Look at them, they're lining up there. Friday for Nigeria, Mali for India, and then Kari right behind on 149 for Papua New Guinea, and he has a big clean and jerk. Then you've got Webster, 147. He's not entirely out of it. And there you can see in 8th place, that's Binkuba of the Cameroon, who lifted earlier in the day. 143 was his snatch contribution to an ultimate total of 320.